Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make chocolate shortbread. It's a very simple recipe and it doesn't take too long to make the shortbread and get it into the oven. Then it just has to bake for 70 minutes and cool down and then it's ready to eat. So I'll go straight onto the ingredients, and for this I have 140 grams, which is 1 cup minus 1 tablespoon of plain flour. That's based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup. I have 175 grams, 12.5 tablespoons of butter, which has been sitting out now at room temperature for an hour or so. I have 70 grams of fine semolina, and that works out at half a cup minus half a tablespoon. I have 75 grams, 6 tablespoons of golden caster sugar. You can use ordinary caster sugar, you could use granulated sugar, that would be fine. I have 40 grams, a third of a cup of cocoa powder, and I have some ice cold water just in case I need it to help pull the dough together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the dry ingredients into a bowl, and I'm using quite a large bowl here because I'm going to cut this in. But I'm going to sift the cocoa powder. That's only because cocoa powder tends to have lumps in it, and we need to get rid of those. So with the cocoa powder sifted, I'm simply going to stir those ingredients around to get them combined. And I'll just scrape the side of the bowl as well. And then I'm going to put my butter in. And I'm going to cut that in using my pastry cutter. You could cut it in using knives. You could rub it in between your fingers. And with that cut in with the pea-sized chunks, I'm just going to rub that between my fingers. You could do this in the food processor if you wanted to. And I have rubbed that in between my fingers, trying to break down the butter. And it's starting to clump together, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my hand and work that into a dough. And I'm going to wipe it round the side of the bowl to get all the cocoa powder mixed in. And then I'm going to take an 8-inch cake tin, and I have this has a loose bottom, and I've lined it with parchment paper. And I'm going to put my dough into the tin. Now I should say at this stage I do have my oven preheating at 150 Celsius, that's 300 Fahrenheit, ready to bake this. I forgot to say that at the start. So with that in, I'm going to just use my knuckles to press the dough down to cover the base of the tin. like that, and then I'm going to use the back of a spoon to simply spread it to level it off as best I can. So that's smoothed over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to prick all over the surface. Like that, and then with the tines of the fork I'm going to just press down around the edge as well. Like that, and then that's ready to go into my preheated oven, and I'm going to bake it for about 70 minutes, between 65 and 75 minutes, until I can see that it's baked through and it's changed colour a little bit, and then I'll take it out of the oven and I'll allow it to cool for 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you what we do next. I baked the chocolate shortbread for 73 minutes. And I've taken it out of the oven and it's now cooled down for about 10 minutes. So we're going to slice it. So what I'm going to do is cut it into 4 quarters. And I can see that it's actually thinner just at the centre than I had intended. And this is one of the reasons for putting the parchment paper on the bottom, so that it doesn't cut into the non-stick coating. And then for each quarter I want to divide that into 3 fairly equal pieces. And with that cut like that, I'm actually going to leave it for it to cool down completely. And when it's cooled down completely, I'll come back and we'll have a taste of it. My chocolate shortbread has cooled down completely, and I've taken it out of the tin, and as you saw I divided it into 12. So I've put some onto a plate here so you can see what it looks like. And I have a piece here which I will have a taste of. Has a lovely crunchy and crumbly texture to it, and I get the chocolate flavour coming through. I can also taste the butter as well. It's not overly sweet. Maybe some people might like a little more sugar in it. For me, this is fine just as it is, because I don't like things which are terribly sweet. So this works very, very well. It won't ever, in my eyes, replace shortbread the normal buttery shortbread because I love that so much, but this is a very nice alternative and just to have occasionally. It would also work very well as the base for a sort of a chocolate mousse tart or something. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for this recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future, so until then, happy baking.